Happy Transformation Tuesday, April 28th, and welcome back to an all new episode of Style by Steve. It's been a minute since I caught up with my very special guest here. We did our last interview, I want to say, back season 13, season 14. Wow, it's been so many interviews that are like a blur. But 2026, we are now in a new year. So much has happened. We got a lot to catch up on. My very special guest, ladies and gentlemen, Darryl DC Chambers. How have you been, stranger? It's been a minute.
It's been a while. It's been a while. First and foremost, thank you for having me again. Um, it's been a while. Constantly evolving, constantly trying to progress, constantly working. To me, everything is a blessing.
Always, always, always. The last time you were here, it was me, you, and Brenda, and we did it Christmas holidays, around Christmas holiday
Yeah,
time. I want to say 2025, 2024, one of the two. It's been so long. So much has
absolutely.
happened since then. You're still acting, still promoting, still hosting, and we're now in the year of 2026. So how has your year been for you thus far?
The year so far has been amazing. A lot of opportunities have presented themselves to me. A lot of opportunities that I never would have thought would have presented themselves. So I'm like I say, I'm super blessed. A lot, like you said, a lot has happened since then because that was around. Was it 2024? I want to maybe.
Yes.
It wasn't last year for sure. So maybe it had to be the year before last. I want to maybe the year before last. But a lot has definitely happened, and so this year so far it's kicking off. It's in the right gear.
And around that time, you was promoting Pandora's Box season five,
Yes,
season five, and
yes,
your character returned. So
yeah.
I'm gonna ask you about that before we get into all the other stuff. Now, where would your character be if she? Shout outs to Pandora. Make sure you guys head on over, subscribe to
Mhm.
her channel as well. Where would your character be? Because your character was killed off in the season finale of season five.
Yeah, yeah. My character was killed off. My character would still be wrecking havoc. My character would still be very insane, still be crazy. Um, so which hence why my character had to be killed off. Because there wasn't going to be any turning back for me. I don't think that particular character, it wasn't going to be a turning point to where he would flip back to a better side or a good side at all. So I think that was one of the best things for the character. It's himself was to be killed off because it was no good in Bryson like that.
At all. And then you picked that base. We seen the whole scene how it played out. You guys have to go see it. I can't give it away, but make sure you go over
Mhm.
to Pandora's Box and check it out if you guys haven't. Great. And it's an hour long, the season finale. It's building up, because there's a plot. You came back with a vengeance. Bryson came back with a vengeance. And it all
Absolutely.
led up to the season finale. So I've watched every single episode up to that. And then we see the
Okay.
blooper. So it's great to see you outside of that element versus being in character mode. Now, speaking of bloopers, you've also done some work since our last conversation. You've
Mhm.
done some work with Country Wayne. You see you out here with the skits with Country Wayne and Sarah Oliver. So being in the element of comedy, because Lord knows we need some laughter right now in these times. How's
Yeah.
that for you right now?
It's great. And that's another thing that kind of takes me back to the dates of it. So I've been a part of the Country Wayne skits for 3 years now. And at the time when we did our last interview, maybe I was just starting, or I don't know if I was actually even doing them yet. But it was three. I started 3 years ago with Country Wayne. So to me, the one thing about it is, it was when I first came on. I feel like my character was more comedy. I feel like it was more. I feel like the skits were a little bit more comedic at the time. But since then, the skits has really turned into a drama. It's like a modern day soap opera, and I run into a lot of people, and they say that, "Oh, this is my modern day soap opera now." And it's odd because I'll come into I run into a lot of people, a lot of older people. I won't say old people, but a lot of older people, and they'll say that it's my modern day soap opera. And I can only think about my grandma and people watching soap operas back in the day when I was younger. And I'm like, for now for that to be consider that with, you know, considering that with, I guess now by the whole streaming thing, and that being the center of like being soap opera in a sense, it's crazy. But like I say, the world needs laughter, so I still love to when I have my comedic moments and my moments so I can make people laugh and just spread joy.
And that you do such an amazing job at that. You and Brenda. Brenda, she's still doing her thing as well, which reminds me, we got to catch up. It's been so many. I,
Yeah.
it's been DC like with so many, and then you went on my girl's platform. Shout outs to my girl, this the substance, and she dropped
Okay.
my name. Yeah, I was like, yes, I've had him on past actually three times. I remember the first time we did our interview because I can go back and tell you what year it was due to the hair. The hair changes. There's always a
Yeah.
different hair change in each interview, but we always have a great time. And she just awesome. That was a great interview, and I was not expecting you and her to be writing lines to each other. And she shout outs to my girl Faith. She's doing.
Absolutely. When I tell you, she threw me off guard with that, but it was so fun. It was so much fun though.
I was like a dog. I had my head tilted, like, okay, what talking about now? And she did it with my other colleague, Bubs the God, too. So don't feel bad, y'all. I knew what she was doing. And then she did it with Nelson as well, too. Nelson Davis, who will be coming on
Yeah.
later this year. And I was kind of scratching my head. Parliament and Funkadelic. I mean, where are we getting here with this? So she has a game on her show where you guys have to guess the lyrics, the way they're saying it, the cadence, and everything is different. So y'all make
Yep.
sure y'all go on over and subscribe to my girl Faith is the Substance. And she also interviewed me as well too, and it was a great interview. The way she
Cool,
just poured.
cool.
So we're trying to get her to come
Definitely,
on my platform. Go ahead. I'm
definitely,
sorry.
definitely. Shouts out to her. Shouts out to her as well for sure.
Yes, 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 yes. And back to what you were saying about comedy and how the world needs laughter. And I think with even the Michael film that's out currently, a lot of people want nostalgia. Well,
Yeah.
like people are really digging into their nostalgia bag with all of these concerts. There's going to be a lot of concerts coming up for the spring and the summer. There's going to be a
Yeah.
lot of films that are coming out. So I think in this time, in the midst of all the chaos, people need an escape. Hi, Durant. Hey, baby. I got to get you back on the show as well too. We need to do another sit down because there's a lot of fragrances that is coming out. Make sure you guys head on over and subscribe to Durant Searcy here on YouTube. Durant does a lot of reviews on fragrance, so
Okay.
I've tapped into the beauty world with fragrance as well too. So me and Durant did a show together. We actually kicked off this season together, and he was my first guest. So make sure y'all go and check him out. Um, Yes, we got to catch up. It's a lot of new fragrances coming out, a lot of K.I. Lee. I don't know how I feel about that one. Victoria's Secret just dropped the new bombshell, and guess who's the face of it, y'all? I can't show y'all the mailer, but Angel Reese is the face of it, and she looks
Mm.
gorgeous in the campaign. So shout outs to her team, who did the hair, makeup, bronzed all over. So head on over to victoriasecret.com. And yeah, y'all not about to get me on my YouTube channel. I'm already in IG jail now. That's why we doing it over here on YouTube.
So,
But
hey, well, shouts
yes,
out, shouts out to Angel Reese.
yes, yes, she looks amazing and she's doing the damn thing. And congratulations to the WNBA. And speaking of the WNBA, DC, you were one of the correspondents at Historically Black Sense, which is great because there's a
Ooh.
lot of historically black colleges, universities. We know that Essence Fest will be coming up pretty soon in New Orleans. We know that Brandy and Monica will be headlining. And it's going to be a lot of historically colleges and universities involved as well too. So what was it like being able to host historically accents?
So the thing about that particular platform is I was I started working with them and doing correspondent work maybe 6 years ago, maybe 6 years ago now. And it's a platform for a lot of people who don't know. I'm a member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, and so a sorority sister of my fraternity by the name of Adrena Martin, she went to Tuskegee and she's a graduate of Tuskegee. Let me get that right. And she reached out to me and she was like, "Hey, I got this platform. Would you mind doing some hosting on it?" I was like, "No, for sure." She told me what it was about, And I was actually, over the page at one time. I think when I started working with the page and actually posting myself, we were at, I want to say 2,000 and some followers, maybe 4,000. And now that particular platform is I think I want to say 260 or 280 some thousand followers. And so I love it because there's a certain niche with it, and it's about HBCUs and about Divine Nine organizations. And it doesn't just have to be Divine Nine organizations. You can be in, any other Black Greek letter organization affiliated with an HBCU, or if you don't attend an HBCU and you're still a part of one of those organizations, it still pertains to you. So she reached out to me and it was like, okay, well, you want to do correspondent work because Atlanta United is having their very first HBCU night. The Braves have it, the Falcons have it, the Atlanta Hawks have it, but this was the very first time that the soccer team, Atlanta United, actually had it. So to go out and just do correspondent work and to just see so many HBCU graduates and current students and Divine Nine organization members and different Black Greek letter organizations, they're just representing their respective schools and organizations. It was great. It was great.
And I think we need to be supporting the Black
Mhm.
arts more than ever. It's so many programs at these historically Black colleges and universities, from Howard to Spelman and so many others, just to name a few. And again, shout outs to you for that. Because I remember on your channel, you used to review a lot of the tailgate parties that would take place.
Yeah,
It's going to be a lot of events this spring. We're now heading into the spring summer months. So it's going to
yeah,
be a lot. Just not too long ago had Coachella. So it's going to be a lot more events going on. So y'all stay
absolutely.
tuned, especially in the historically Black college and university. And since you were one of Essence's man candy, you were one of the men in 2012. So
Yeah.
we can't forget that. That is a pivotal part of your career because I am a consumer of Essence magazine. I have almost every single issue. And I would go into a hair salon for all my ladies out there. You go into a hair salon and you be sitting in that chair, which reminds me, it is time for your girl to get a relaxer, by the way. So I will be getting in touch with my stylist pretty soon. But we would sit in the salon and Essence would be a staple. So it's key that, that we shout outs to Essence Magazine for bringing back this festival. And they also play part with historically Black colleges and universities as well too. So
Absolutely.
again, shout outs to UTC for doing this. When I seen you drop this, I'm like, okay, we need more of this. And where I'm at in South Carolina, we've got what? Claflin, we've got South Carolina State University.
Hmm.
We've got so many down here, just to name a few. Benedict, and I mean, all
Hmm.
of these historically Black colleges and universities. And that was going to be my next question for you. How important is it that we continue to keep amplifying the Black arts and entertainments on historically Black colleges and
Mm.
universities?
For me, it's very important because HBCUs are something that's very near and dear to me because we all have our thing in life that's just us. That's a part of us that we know. And HBCUs, that's me. I'm an Alabama State Hornet through and through. Went there, put in the, like we say, blood, sweat, and tears. Had some of the best times of my life there. Met a lot of people. I learned a lot inside of the classroom as well as outside of the classroom. And that's a time that could never be repeated nor duplicated in my life. And we can never say never, but I know that's a time that could never be duplicated again. Um, so for me, it's all about bridging the gap and connecting dots because one thing about that particular platform that I'm even a part of, the Historically Black Sense platform, for me doing interviews with people and doing things, doing the podcast, it's not really just about, hey, let me do a podcast. It's about connecting dots because a lot of people don't know that such and such went to an HBCU. A lot of people may not know that, oh, this person is a part of your organization. And if you want to follow the same career path that they want to follow, if you want to get in touch with them, if you want some advice, that's a stepping stone right there that you may not even know. So that's my whole thing. It's like just bridging that gap. I did an interview with David Banner. Well, guess what? A lot of people don't know that David Banner attended an HBCU. They don't know that he was the SGA president. A lot of people don't know certain things like that. DJ Scream, a Tuskegee University alum. Even Two Chains with the Alabama State. A lot of people they just don't know A lot of Ricky Smiley. He's a no make. The list goes on. Oprah. It's so many people that attended HBCUs that people don't know, and a lot of times I realized in life in general, we have not because we ask not. Now, if I know that this person is a member of my organization, Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, or an alum of Alabama State University, guess what? We have two things in common, or we may have one or the other in common. I'm more prone and more comfortable reaching out to you, say, hey, look, respectfully, I'm a graduate of Alabama State University as well, or I'm a member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated as well. I'm reaching out for, such and such and such, and it's all about bridging the gap. And I love doing interviews with other people who attended HBCUs just because I'm bringing awareness to other people who may not even know that that particular individual is an HBCU alum, could have went to your school, or could be a part of your organization.
And I love what Durant just said. Durant just said, my only regret is getting my degree a PW. As that I, Durant? Yes. But
PWI.
see, it's never too late to go back. It's never too late to go back. Now, I didn't go to college. That's one thing
Okay.
people don't know about. Like, how do you know all of this stuff? I've educated myself. The only thing I went to school for was to learn how to pick up a box of Dark and Lovely and a hot comb. That's what I know how to do.
Okay.
That was my
Okay.
specialty right there, was doing hair. That's growing up, my mom, watching my grandmother, being in the fashion and beauty realm was what I wanted to do. So I took up cosmetology when I was going to school. But overall, I was a AB honor roll student. I kept up with all of my classes, and I made sure that other kids as well too behind me, my friends, my colleagues, that they were on top our senior year, leading up to our senior year, that we had everything because when you graduate, you had to have a certain grade point level,
Okay.
and it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it covers that 4.0. So you got to make sure that you're right up top there, and that everybody else is as well too. So that's key.
But the thing is that I've learned, and I've always heard it, and now I know it to be true, that college is not for everyone anyway. And it's one of those things. It doesn't have anything to do with your academic ability. Sometimes college just is just not for everyone. Um, and HBCUs are not for everyone. Like he said, his only regret is not getting a degree from a PWI. Well, one thing about it is, if he has his degree, that's a great thing. I can only say that the HBCU experience is something that I would never ever trade in the world in my life.
And I want to feel that. Like, I had the experience of touring and attending a program. We had a program down here called Upward Bound, and it would prep us for college
Hmm.
and basically give us that full college experience. You
Hmm.
guys know Bakari Sellers on the Native Land podcast. His father, Dr. Cleveland Sellers, is
Hmm.
the owner of Voorhees University. So that's where the Upward Bound program was. And I had that experience, the full college experience, going to seminars, sitting in there, taking the classes, taking the courses. And when these professors say, make sure that you get your projects and your homework and stuff done in time,
Yeah.
they will call you out and will question you. And yes, I got singled out all the time. I was like, okay, I just want to make sure that everything is right. So my aunt, who went to college, and she also went to beauty school as well too, and it was a balance for her. She was telling me, you got to make sure that you calculate everything right, that you make sure that you have everything right, because these professors are going to ask you. And sure enough, before she told me, I already knew because they was going to ask me. And he
Hmm.
went around the classroom. He just picked out random people that day. So wait for your number to be called,
Yeah.
basically, is what
Yeah.
it was. So I got that experience and I'll never forget it. So it also taught me how to be punctual, how to be on time. It also taught me how to be professionalism, art management, making sure that you are managing your business. Those are things that I've been privy to experience. Computer science. But I'm like, is there no fashion classes or anything around here? But thank God, the only thing that came close to entertainment was the dramatic arts.
Okay.
So we got to be able to put on, it's a department where each of us, we had to come up with something. He placed us, the professor there, placed us in groups, and we had to come up with something collectively. And I said, well, hell, let's just do a talent show. Let's just see, who does what. And some of
Hmm.
the students said, we can sing, we can recite poetry. Um, and I said, let's do a fashion show. On my end, I wanted to do a fashion show. So me and two of my good girlfriends, shout outs to them, We put on a little fashion show, and we were the only three. Everybody else said, we not walking in front of people. I was like, okay, y'all got to get over this shyness. So
Yeah, yeah.
I must say, we need the arts. We need more programs. So that was my next question for you, DC. How important is it that we continue to have these these theater art programs at historically black colleges and universities?
It's very important. It's very important. What I will say is this: that so my major, I have my degree in business marketing. I'm also a member of a business fraternity, Phi Beta Lambda Professional Business Fraternity Incorporated. So that's something that a lot of people don't know, and that goes back to how you said you were taught certain business skills, right? So my thing is, I didn't want to go to school for business at first. I wanted to go for fashion and merchandising. So after how life can throw you curveballs and you have a lot of different change of heart. Um, but when I went to school, even though I was a business major, I was in a theater arts program called Elite, which was like a modeling troupe, different things like that. Now, when you think about it, a lot of people, they only think, hey, modeling, yada yada. I'm like, it's a lot that comes behind it. It teaches you confidence. It teaches you a lot of different things. So I feel like having programs like that in HBCUs, a lot of people need that because I was very shy growing up. I broke out of my shell when I went to college. And that particular program also helped me get up out of my shell. And it taught me how to perform in front of people. It taught me how to present myself in front of people. So I think it's very, very important. And even when at Alabama State University, even over the whole theater program, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the show called In the Heat of the Night, the old show.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
so the one who played Aunt Ella, Dr. Tania Stewart, she was over the theater program at Alabama State while I was there. And once again, that goes to bridging the gap as well because she is also a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, which is the sorority to my fraternity. So it's like I think that even with a person like her being over the theater program to you know keep it alive and keep it afloat, especially at that particular time. I don't think she's there anymore, but it's very important because it teaches a lot. It teaches confidence. It teaches you that you can still do so much outside of what they may have told you growing up in your hometown. So it's important. It's very important to the HBCU culture.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's a part of the culture. And shout
Hmm.
outs to Amanda Seals for giving us shows like Smart, Black, and Funny, which
Hmm.
leads me to the next question I wanted to ask you. I'm pretty sure you've seen the buzz. A Different World is returning, y'all, with a totally new
Hmm.
generation. Some
Yep.
of the OGs are returning back. You're going to see the beautiful Jasmine guy. You're going to see Dawn Lewis. You're going to see a few others return back. Tashina Arnold is also going to be on there. You know her as Pam on Martin. Her daughter Elijah is casted. One of the next generation stars is going to be one of the features for this show. So, how do you feel about Hillman University, or was it? Yes, it's Hillman University, A Different World, the reboot returning, and how important is that staple in Black culture with historically Black colleges and universities?
I am so excited for that. I am so excited to see it. Like A Different World is crazy. I don't know if I want to say it's my favorite show or my second favorite show. Now, I will say that because the Cosby Show has always been my favorite show, but it's a spinoff. So, it's like both of them are like neck and neck. Um, but A Different World, I feel like we need it just in Black culture. Now, of course, the older version was a sitcom. However, they had so many lessons intertwined while you were laughing. Now, with this being a particular drama, I kind of hope that I hope it still shows the funness of an HBCU as well as the
Yeah,
seriousness of it. And I think right now is the time that we need to be reintroduced to that because in a lot of cases, people they'll try to make it seem like a lot of PWIs are way ahead of HBCUs when that's really not the case. And I feel like now, okay, well let's put HBCUs back on the TV screen, back on the front line, so it can be shown to a lot of these athletes, a lot of these great students who want to go, who may be on the fence of going to a PWI or HBCU. And don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking PWIs whatsoever. I am not doing that. The only thing that I'm saying is I went to an HBCU. I know the importance of it, and I know that the way that it can be presented is way better than a lot of people try to present it and try to make it.
And not only that, but a different world has taught us also about handling responsibilities as
Mm-hmm.
adults, as young adults growing up. Because when you're growing off, it's to the parents out there, to the parents watching, and I've seen so many children at graduations, and things, the parents with their children sending them off, to college, packing them up. I think it was Angela Bassett. She said her and her husband, Courtney B. Vance, had to pack their kids up. They're empty nesters now. So that feeling for parents out there of sending your kids off and handling it, a different world taught us about responsibilities as
For
young
sure.
adults, as the next generation. Keep in mind, I'm 32 years old, y'all. I'm talking like I'm in my 50s, like I'm y'all's aunt, great aunt, or grandmother. And they're just like, how old are you, Miss Stevie? I'm 32. I just told y'all. So, and that comes from maturity.
Mm-hmm.
As you get older, and especially going to college, shows like A Different World taught us, like, okay, you're on your own. You're an
Mm-hmm.
adult now. So these are your responsibilities. These are things that you have to do. These are the values that your mom and dad taught you. And I can say my mom, she taught me how to balance out, having a business and making sure that you make time for family. I have a 2-year old nephew now, so I'm an aunt,
Okay.
and family time is definitely important. And hosting this platform is also near and dear to my heart. But I have to find that balance of making sure that, both words don't clash or, collide in some sort of way. So you have to keep them separate. Family time is family time, showtime is showtime. And
Absolutely.
I turn it off when I clock out because I love the new feature on Instagram. I don't know if y'all use it, which is that sleep when you're in sleep mode. That's what it's called. I set that
Okay.
thing at 7 o'clock and it will pop up on the screen like that alarm.
Okay.
And okay, I'm in sleep mode. That moon pop up. Okay, any messages? I check them in the morning. But other than that, I focus my time to my mom and my family and my nephew. And it's a lot of responsibility. So shout outs to shows like A Different World for teach and Grownish for teaching
Mm-hmm.
us that aspect of going off on your own. So that's to
Absolutely.
anybody. I can't wait for the reboot. Now, switching gears here, May 2nd, you're going to be at Men's Fashion Week. So,
Mm.
congratulations to that. It is about time. What's running through your mind? Because I know when I
Mm-hmm.
think of fashion, the first thing that comes to mind for me is New York. And
Okay.
I know that it's going to be hectic and chaotic. I know that it's going to be crazy backstage, a lot of models changing in
Yeah.
garments, lights, camera, frenzy. That's what I think of. But for you, when you're out there, when you're in game mode, are you ready? Are you nervous?
The crazy thing is, and I'm gonna answer your question straight up first. Am I nervous? No. Um, so the show is held in Birmingham. So they call that Be Ham, but it's called Be Him Fashion Week. They changed it to Be Him Fashion Week. And a guy by the name of Perry Varner, um, model coordinator, used to fashion show coordinator. He used to always do his own shows back in Montgomery, Alabama, and I was fortunate enough to be a part of a lot of those shows. Um, and so I saw he was doing this one, and he actually reached out to me like, "Hey, I'm doing this show, So basically saying if I want to be a part of it, the door is open. And of course, I want to be a part of it. And I think, like I started out modeling. That's what a lot of people don't know. I started out modeling. So I don't do as much runway now because it just has to make sense to me to even do the timing and everything. But a show of this magnitude that I feel like is gonna be and that I'm seeing being presented and promoted to the public now, I think it's definitely worth the time. So am I nervous about it? Nah, I'm not nervous because it's something that I've done over and over and over. Um, it does take a lot of energy.
And
Of course,
confident.
yeah, and confidence. A lot of shows are organized chaos behind the scenes. A lot of them are. I'm not saying that this particular show will be there, but a lot of shows it's just that. And a lot of times they don't set out for it to be that. It's just so many moving parts. So not nervous, but very excited for it. Excited to hit the runway again.
and you get such a rush out of it being out in front of those people when you warm up to the crowd when you walk out. I know when my time is coming, when it's national, when my
Hmm.
platform, y'all keep
Hmm.
saying when your platform picks up, what are you going to do in front of the audience? I'm going to be like Lisa Left Eye Lopez. My eyes are going to be wide like this, like what? And all these people can see me, like
Exactly.
I'm going to be behind the corner. I ain't going to want to come out, and I can see the
Hmm.
stage manager saying, girl, come out here. So I mean, this is what you signed up for. So
Yeah.
going at it with big responsibility, stepping up in front of the crowd and commanding that room and wearing
Mhm.
those garments. That's key and what's important. And we got a question for you, DC. Durant wants to know, would you recommend a contract even with doing online collab skits?
Mm, it depends on who I'm doing them with. It depends on who I'm doing them with. I mean, definitely contracts with anything else that I do, of course, definitely. But with online collab skits, it kind of depends. It kind of depends because it's so different. It's so different. It's like how can I say it? Because the internet income can be very residual anyway, and a lot of times, depending on who it is or what it is, it'll be hard to continuously get that. I guess I guess the recurring money because the algorithm and the monetization changes so much. So it'll be hard for a person to say, I'm gonna give you this, residually, and you don't know when Facebook or YouTube or whoever is gonna change their monetization, the algorithm and all of that. So nah, not so much a contract when it comes to like online skits and things like that, but definitely other things for sure.
And hey, Deshaun, another one of my colleagues, and I got a question. Did you ever do comedy? You might have seen DC with Country Wayne. He's been
Yeah,
everywhere. And I was telling
yeah.
one of my
I didn't do
colleagues just
comedy though.
yesterday, this stand up, would you?
I've never done stand up. I've never done stand up. I just like I like certain roles where I can make people laugh. But my thing is this: I've never tried to be funny. I've never tried to be the funny guy. I've never tried to be a comedian. Never tried to do stand up or any of that. It's just if I have a role that's calls for comedic timing or something like that, I just like to play that particular part and stay in that lane because I'm definitely not a comedian.
And but see, you have range though. I mean, you've done shows like Fatal Attraction, and see, those these
Yeah.
are crime shows. These are
Mm,
real life crime shows,
yeah.
and you're in the place
Yeah.
the crime took place and everything. You know, it's a lot that goes into that. The mentally,
Hmm.
even with Bryce on Pandora's Box, you might have
Hmm.
seen DC on there. And I told him when me, him, and his co-star Brenda, who plays Ryan on the show, when
Hmm.
we did our conversation together, that would have been oh so long, yo. The
Yep.
charge to my head and not my heart. I've done so many. Um, the character that he portrayed was so evil. Like Bryson was so evil and dark. And then to see you again in Fatal Attraction, and then to see you again with Country Rain, you have to be able to showcase that range. And
Absolutely.
Dara says, because Country Wayne makes a lot, and I need a little piece of all of that. I see it's all about networking and linking up with the right people to get into
Absolutely.
to be those spaces.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
just keep promoting yourself. And I put on my vision board this year,
Hmm.
2026, I want everyone, and I would recommend everyone promote yourself. Nobody can do it better than you.
Nobody
And
can.
yes, this season I had to get with someone who creates artwork. At first, I was terrified of the new of AI, and I'm just like, okay, somebody can take my likeness, how I'm talking now, and how
Hmm.
DC has a
Hmm.
distinct voice. Or what I use my girlfriend, Faith is the substance. She has a very distinct voice. It's and she has an accent. She'll probably kill me for saying this. She has an accent. She has like a New York accent. Me, I have like in the southern drawl. Like I can't
Hmm.
help it. I'm from South Carolina, so y'all call me the Southern Belle over
Hey,
here. But
I'm
she
from
has that.
Alabama.
D- Yes, DC does as well too. But hers is the New York. It's the New York thing. She has like a New York thing going on, and everybody has their formula. So it's all about networking with the right people, making sure that you connect with the right people and getting yourself out there. And not only just that, but promoting yourself. So this season, season 20, I met shout outs to Court Dezay. Dezay's boyfriend, Leander or Lee Valiant Arts, the new logo for Style by Stevie that you see with my face on it, he did that. And it
Okay.
was out of four different options. DC, he did it in less than 5 minutes and sent it back to me. He took one of
Mm.
my pictures. I'm just like, I don't know. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? And he sent it to me less than
On
no
point.
time. And
Yeah, yeah,
I said, I love it. It's got the
yeah.
heels on the side because you guys know me for fashion. It's got the microphone. She's got my eyes. I'm like, okay, this is it. And this is what he produced as a result of that.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
shout
it's
outs
dope.
to Lee Valiant Arts for that.
Hmm.
And he had a about my hairstyle option. Charge it to my head and not my heart. My hair will not be like this tomorrow with Q Dawkins. It'll change more than likely because I don't like to stay the same. And that's what y'all love. So again, market yourself. You are your own best promoter.
Yep.
Market yourself. Get some flyers. Get some posters. You notice whenever I drop my
Hmm.
lineup, you guys see the whole Style by Stevie emblem, and it's a beautiful picture. Thank you, Chef Sky. He got my features, girl, the lashes and everything. I said, "What? Wait a minute." I was like, "Hold up, Lee. Where's my nails?" Because I wear my nails very, very long. So he went and he corrected that too. He got on it, sent it back to me less than
Yeah.
5 minutes, and I said, "Boom, that's the one we're gonna go with for this season." Because before I didn't want to put my face in any logo. I just wanted it to be my name, like
Hmm.
how McDonald's is, or how
Yeah, for sure.
Folgers. I just wanted my name to be that. I was like,
Mhm.
I want it to be a mystery to people. But now I'm just like, shelling out, let people see who you
Yeah,
are because
yeah.
people want to know what your brand is. And
Absolutely.
after doing that, I have noticed an influx of traffic. I've scored a number of collaborations this season, which I can't say, so I'm trying to hold back. I got to bite my tongue. Uh, and hopefully other things are coming from that as well too. I can't talk about, but just off of changing things around and promoting myself, I see a difference. So that would be my suggestion to anybody. Promote yourself because nobody can do it better than you. And I put that on my vision board. So the key word of the day is what class? More. You
Yep.
want
Okay.
more in your life for anybody. And speaking of more, DC, also about Be Him Men's Fashion Week, you've got one of the stars of Beyond the Gates, Sean Freeman, is going to be hosting. So that's
Yeah.
big. So make sure if you guys are in the Birmingham area, y'all make sure y'all go and check out DC and Men's Fashion Week. And I asked him, was he nervous? I typically get nervous doing interviews. Yeah, I have to do like Erica Badu. I have to create myself a ritual, which was going to be my question for you. Do you have like a ritual before going on stage? I have to have candles. Erica
Ooh.
Badu, she'll have some sort of candle or lemongrass or something lit. What's your ritual? What do you
My
do before heading out?
one thing that I've learned, my main thing is to just stay hydrated. Just stay hydrated. Once I'm hydrated, I'm good. If I got my water, I'm straight. As long as I eat the flight, or maybe earlier that day, so I'm just not thinking about being hungry and I hydrate. I'm good to go. So
Yes.
I don't really have a real deal ritual. I remember back in the day, like me and my homeboys or whatever, we did a fashion show. We'll sit there and do push ups and sit ups and curls and all of that. I don't even do all that no more because I'm like at the end of the day, I work out at least 4 or 5 days a week in preparation for this. So I'm not even gonna do that today. Or really, it's just stay hydrated, just stay focused. That's it, and make sure that I can present the garments as well as I can present them.
That you do, and you're an amazing host. And your energy, you draw people to you. You draw people to you. And it's all about personality to anybody that is looking to get into this business. And Faith, she asked me, yeah, I'm spilling all the tea, girl, because I know she's gonna go back and she's gonna watch the replay, DC. And I'm gonna try to get her to come on as well, too. So we're setting up something. So
For sure.
that's not the bad. We're gonna collab. Um, she said, I look up to you. I said, girl, me? Why me? And she said it's your cadence, your personality, your delivery. And I've heard that from several other people as well too. So I'm just like, I still haven't figured out what it is that draws people to me, but he has a formula and a charisma about him The same for me. I still can't figure out what it is. So if y'all know it, let me know because I still haven't figured it out. But I'm a Scorpio as well too. So we
Okay.
are magnetizing. We are
Okay.
magnetizing. We are alluring. We draw you in. And I don't know. I think it's because I have a nurturing
Hmm.
spirit that I
Hmm.
think people gravitate towards. What
Okay.
advice would you give to anybody on hosting a platform, DC, to anybody
Mm.
that wants to get into podcasting or whatever it may be?
Be you, be you. Like that's the one. That's the one thing that I feel like that you can step into and be you because you're not acting. I mean, of course, you can turn it on and turn it off for the camera and you know, personality wise, but be you because there are so many different podcasts and different things out now. Be you because that's what's gonna set you aside from everyone else's. You know what I'm saying? So that's the best way I can say that without even being cliche. I'm not trying to be cliche. It's just be you because nobody else can be that. And you know, if you're gonna do a podcast, you want to present, or if you want to host anything, you want to present your authentic self because that's who people want to come see. Your the authentic self. So be that. And then I also say I like to get smiles on people's faces and make them laugh. You know, if you can do that, if you can get somebody laughing, then hey, you good. I like to just spread joy though. I like to spread joy and laughter. Like I say, we are in a heavy society right now, anyway in the world. So I'm just kind of like, man, you know what? If I can spread some joy to somebody and people they want to feel happy when they come to shows and when they watch podcasts and things like that, people want to feel happy. That's why like a lot of comedians are winning right now when it comes to content and things like that. They want to laugh. People want to laugh. People comment under things just to try to be funny and make somebody else laugh. You know, so it's like if you can do that, hey, do that. Make that happen. Spread joy and be yourself.
Absolutely. And I love what Deshaun just said as well too. It's kind of like Jennifer Lopez when she played Selena. She says she doesn't want to become Selena. She just became herself.
Yeah.
You know what you feel when Selena and speak of the devil, there's my girl. Faith,
Mhm.
we was just talking about you, girl. And I was saying, because she said that she looks up to me. And I said, you sure? And
Mhm.
we were just pouring into each other. Me and Faith, we have our girl talks, we have our conversation because that's the sisterhood that we have.
Mhm.
And I said, girl, if you don't stop, she said, I don't think I'm that amusing. I said, girl, if you don't quit. Because
Yeah.
I asked her about coming on my show. And yes, me and Faith are going to set up something. The cat's, like I said, out the bag. We're going to collab. I said it was going to be a lot of collaborations this season. And she said, I don't think I'm that amusing. I said, girl, when you start your show, you do what I do, which is you warm the audience up. It's no different than Kimmel. It's no different than Colbert. It's no different
Mhm.
than Fallon. All of these late, any show has an opening monologue. It's no different than Saturday Night Live. You
Mhm.
have to have an opening monologue that kicks it off and warms the audience up. And me, what do I do when I come on? It's high fashion dolls. Y'all will hear me say it about 10,000 times. By the way, that's another huge milestone that I hit this year. DC was 10,000 interviews, which is amazing.
Congratulations. Congratulations. That's a
And,
lot. That's a lot of interviews. That's a lot
and
of
y'all
interviews.
seen it
Congratulations.
on my channel. It's a lot of them. That's
Yeah.
a huge milestone. And no sick days, y'all. Like to be able to get up to do this Monday through Friday. And not a care in the world. Just come on with joy, like DC just said, which is about spreading joy. I didn't
Mhm.
think about it that way. Yes, girl, you have an opening monologue because when she did the interview with DC, she said, I got the because if you go back and you watch it, it was funny. We'll get into that interview, but when she came on, she said, I got to put my bra on. I was like, that is something that I totally would say because there are
Yeah.
days that I do forget to put one on, or I just want to go commando. But that is something that I would say. I was like, stick with that. And that's what I told Faith. I said, stick with that. Your personality is what will draw people to
Yeah.
you.
Sure.
And she
Sure.
has it. She has a beautiful, sweet spirit. And I said, you're warming. And she says, I don't care about being liked. You're gonna have people that are not gonna like you. You're gonna have people that are gonna like you. And I think she's doing an awesome job at that.
Absolutely.
So I'm
Absolutely.
thankful that from so many others that y'all view me as an inspiration. I would have never thought of it that way. But I thank you. I thank you all. And again, shout outs to my girl Faith. She's doing the things with these interviews, and I'm just like, okay, how's she getting some of these? Even with me, some people ask me, how do you get these? Through God's blessings. I mean, it's
Yeah,
just each and every one of us are anointed in our own way,
absolutely.
and she has that formula. But when you did the interview with DC here, Faith, you killed it, girl. And she was just like, "Is there anything I need to know?" I said that he's got a funny personality. He's funny, and nothing like the character on Pandora's Box. So we
Yeah,
covered all of that, and deep in the world of fashion, deep in the world of historically black colleges and universities. So again, bring your personality. And they know your name, and they know your name, and they know your name. If not me, then they're going to be talking about my colleague Bubs the God in DC. I think you and him would hit it off very Y'all two would hit
absolutely.
it off very well because he believes it. He said this in the interview because Faith interviewed him as well too. He does partake. We just recently, not too long ago, had 420, and
Okay.
Bub said he would pass the blunt on to God. So
All righty
you
then.
can do with that what you will. So
Well, well, never
he
heard that one before.
if we were in a classroom right now,
Uh,
that's the type of person that Bubs is. Bubs would be the type of person that would get you in trouble in the classroom, and the teachers would be like, "Okay, what's going on back there?" We're laughing at him. He's the one causing the problems. So, and I told Faith this because she interviewed him as well. I said, "Girl, be careful what you're getting yourself into because he will make you laugh." There have been several instances where we would be having a discussion about what's going on in the world climate, and I'll be trying to make my point, and he would do something to throw me off. So that's the one you got to watch out for. But you got definitely got to meet him. He's something else.
I'm interested. I'll be looking forward to it.
Yes. And she said, great people like DC gives us an opportunity. Yes.
Well,
Yes.
you all give me an opportunity as well to share my story and to get out there. So, hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate it just as much.
Always, always. And it's great to have you as a friend of all of our platforms and supporting us, and the same vice versa. We pour into each other. And
Mm,
Durant was asking, what can I do? Form that circle. That you see the camaraderie here, Durant, we all it's like a chain reaction. We all fall into each other. If I'm not
absolutely.
on, Bubs will be on. Faith, she'll do hers on a Saturday sometime. I'm like, go ahead, girl, because I remember having to do the Saturday interviews, getting up early in the morning. Me, EJ, and Johnny at I think it was 9 o'clock in the morning. We would get up, and the fellas dreaded it. The first time we did our first weekend show,
Um,
guess who wasn't ready? The guys were ready, and typically it takes a woman a little bit longer to get ready than the
uh-huh.
guys. Got up and I said, "Oh my God, I overslept," and EJ was like, "I'm ready." I said, "Good for you. I'm not. I don't have no hair, makeup, or nothing on. I had to come on in this damn Mickey Mouse or this NASA onesie." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. No makeup, hair, nothing." I said, "Well, let's just do it. Let's just do it. Let people see the
Yeah,
real you." And I'm so comfortable with it. And you guys see me in the morning in my stories without makeup and full glam. So I was like, EJ, what I'm gonna do? I don't even have time to get ready. So let's just go on. Let's just do it. And we winged it. So you have to make things work. And
you do.
again, right,
You
form
do.
that circle, that reaction with each other.
You
Yeah.
do.
Well, with the combination of Say So TV and Bubs, I wonder who will win. Bubs. We call him our leprechaun, DC, for a reason because he knows how to read the room. And we just talked about comedy. That's the damn
Mhm.
comedian right there. He will say and do things, and it's just so unexpected. He will make funny faces, and it's just like, oh God, you're gonna get me in trouble. And he did it with Faith. Faith was like, damn it, she told me. I did tell you. I was like, girl, I'm serious. And I sent her the clips and everything. So you guys can check them out on Instagram at Style by Stevie underscore daytime. But enough with comedy. What's next for you in 2026, DC? What else do you
Mm,
have next? You got the Fashion Week and Birmingham
yeah.
going on. What?
Yeah, yeah. The Be Him Fashion Week. I am in a project called Beyond the Quad that's getting ready to come out. They haven't put the official date out. I know supposedly know what date it's gonna be, but I don't want to say the wrong date and something changes. I think that's gonna be a very, very dope series. I think a lot of people, hence Beyond the Quad. It's kind of what we were getting at about, different world in the colleges and things like that.
Yes.
So it's gonna be a very good series, I believe. Then I have a few advertisements that I've done that I am waiting on to come out. I have a film that's going into film festivals. So a lot of things, and still constantly going strong with the skits as well. So just constantly evolving and getting ready to actually start maybe another sector of a podcast with the HBCU team. So yeah, we gonna just constantly trying to make it happen.
And to see you, and shout outs to Brittany Passion as well too. To see you and Brittany just bounce off of each other's
Yeah,
chemistry is just
yeah.
is
Shouts out to
her.
Brittany.
When I saw you two together, I was like, okay, this is our modern day 106 in Park. Because keep in mind, 106 in Park is no longer on the air, but you're
Yeah.
not just covering music, you're covering topics, relationships, dating, whatever
Hmm.
it may be. Things that our youth, the millennial, go
Hmm.
through in our life, we experience. So shout outs to her again. Y'all remind
Big
me of
shout out.
Roxy and Terrence Tay together, that camaraderie that they share, and the same camaraderie that you both have as well.
Absolutely. I love Brittany. I love Brittany. A major shout out to her. She does her thing all across the board as well. So
And she acts, she's just like you, she acts, and then
yeah.
she gets in roles that are just serious. She did tit for tat as well too with Terry T.
Hmm.
Miles,
Yep.
and that was a great film. That was a great film.
Hmm.
She killed it in that film. And to see her outside of her element, she's laughing. She's the same for you with
Hmm.
Pandora's Box. To see you outside of your element is just amazing because when you're on set, when you're in game mode, you're in game mode. But when you turn it off
Absolutely.
and you're behind the scenes laughing after such a serious topic or film or project is being discussed, it's just
Hmm.
awesome. Yes, yes.
Absolutely.
So Fashion Dolls, do we have any more questions for myself or DC? I know this year alone for us 2026 to each and every one of us, I want to say to each and every one of you, Fashion Dolls, pat yourselves on the back and give yourself a congratulations because if you put yourself a goal down, I love to create vision boards, and I think I told DC this in our first interview. I said I like to put my life into perspective and always plan ahead. It's like a
Yeah.
puzzle. I'm always wondering, what can I do to be better? What can I do to grow? What can I do to expand? And one of the words that I put on my vision board, I'm looking directly at it, which is more. So I'm manifesting more for each and every one of us, collaborations and so much more. I'm acting roles, this podcast. I want to tap into the beauty world pretty soon. Fashion, hair, makeup, all of these different things is where I see myself expanding in and excelling in. And I want each and every one of you to plan ahead and see what you want to do in the future within the next few years, give or take. So write it down. Plan ahead is always key and crucial to plan ahead to see what we have in store. Oh my God. Oh, thank y'all. Thank y'all so much. I'm checking both out over here. On the gram, y'all love the look of the day. Yes, that dress is short. I know. Thank y'all so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you all. And before we wrap, DC, any gems that you would give to anybody on manifesting more in the year of 2026? Because this was
Mm.
so great catching up with you, and I'm gonna bring
I,
him back again.
what I will say is this, and I tell everyone this. I say it mostly at the end of all of my interviews. I don't really like to be repetitive. However, I have to be in a sense when it comes to this. When you want to manifest more, just do you. No matter what anyone says, do you. No matter if anyone. They always say, don't tell your dreams to anybody because they will try to shoot it down. Don't tell your big dreams to small people. Small minded people. And people, when I first said I wanted to get into entertainment and model and act and everything, a lot of people they laughed. But Now they seeing me all of the time. They seeing me every day. So now it's just like, uh, I made them kind of eat those chuckles. So get out there and do what it is that you want to do, no matter what, and don't let anyone tell you that you can't do it. Don't let anyone deter you from doing it. So in order for you to get more, you just got to go for it first. So go for it.
And what I would say also as well too to anybody who's looking to get into the field of entertainment or looking to get into
Mhm.
the field of beauty, and I tell y'all, fashion, whatever it may be, everybody's dream is different. I tell y'all this all the time: live life through fire.
True.
And again, hate to bring my sign in it, but Scorpios, we are daredevils. We are risk takers. My mom's a Libra, October 7th, and
Okay.
Libras, not all of them, but some of them, they are stubborn. They are stubborn. That woman, and I mean she is stubborn too. So I would say follow your dreams, follow your passions, and chase whatever excites you. Write your visions down on paper. Put that thing in ink. Put it in stone. Set it in stone. You say you want to do a talk show. You say you want to start a platform. And
Yeah.
keep in mind that doing it independently is not cheap. You're going to have to invest. And anything you want to do, you're going to have to invest. And I can remember back in 2020, it was a global pandemic going on. I went on ahead and got Style by Stevie trademarked, and that was something that I'm just revealing to y'all today. So I did it. Ben went on ahead and put the horse and the cart together. I think that's how the adage goes, but I put them all together. And I said, I got to be prepared. And a girlfriend of mine, she told me the same thing as well too. She said, make sure that you trademark your stuff.
Mhm.
Because if you see that emblem and you see my face in that emblem or the other old logo with the Style by Stevie, that actually was inspired by Ricky Lake. I wanted something old school,
Okay.
a
Okay.
90s font, the typical old uh, font that you would see in the
Mhm.
newspaper or the headlines. Now it's just like, boom, it's in your face because you see what I discuss on my platform, the fashion and then the microphone. It's a number of different things. I don't like to box myself in, and I don't think any artist should box themselves in. So that's what I would conclude the show with is don't box yourself in and don't sell yourself short. Know your worth and go for it and add tax. So if hosting a talk show is something that you want to do, invest in yourself.
Yep.
Microphone, laptop. I'm still investing and pouring into myself.
Yep.
Also, make sure that you have an element or a theme going. And for each and every interview that I've done is always a theme. You notice the backdrops change. You notice my fashions change throughout the years. And so many others. So make sure that you're pouring into yourself and investing into yourself. And the key word of the day is more. So that's what I will conclude today's show with. I love it, Chef Sky, and I love you too, girl. And to you, DC, thank you so much. This was so great catching up with you. And let everyone
Absolutely.
know where they can follow you and check you out because I am going to forward you the dates so that we can have you back on again.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can follow me on Instagram at one and only DC. Spell out one, the letter N only DC. Facebook Darryl Chambers, Darryl Chambers. What else am I on? Oh, TikTok. TikTok at one and only DC as well. One and only DC underscore something like that, but it'll pop up. But hey, I definitely appreciate you for having me on again. The pleasure's all mine to be a part. So I appreciate you. Thank you.
You are so welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Darryl DC Chambers, and we're going to bring him back. And you guys stay tuned. The replay will be up. Joining me tomorrow, we have Q Dawkins, and we have some more very special guests. I can't, I'm so excited about this person coming on. I will just give you a clue. Midas Touch Network is all I'm gonna say. So make sure you stay tuned next month. Deshaun knows who it is. Deshaun is sworn to secrecy. Though Deshaun knows who it is, and don't y'all dare go and ask him who is it, because I will find out. I'm a Scorpio again. We see everything. My eyes are everywhere. So stay tuned. I will see y'all tomorrow, Fashion Dolls, with Q Dawkins. I love you all and take care. And you too, DC. It was so great.
Thank y'all.